Hi guys, it's Crystal City, your homestead. So I hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend, and that you remembered everybody that you needed to, and remembered the reason for the holiday. So we're starting our rice week out today. I portioned off. I still have to take some out of this bag, but I need 4.5 cups of raw rice, and then I'll need about 9 cups of cooked rice. And so I cooked it all in my Instapot today. It's in the refrigerator. Tom's like, that's a lot of rice. I said, I know. So if there's any rice left over at the end, I added a 6th recipe so I could use some of that cooked rice up. But if there is any left at the end, then what we'll do is we'll freeze that rice up and use it on a different meal somewhere along the line. So today's is sausage and rice skillet. Thought I'd start out with a real easy one today. So I'm going to put a little bit of oil in the bottom of my pan. And I'm going to add something different to it, but that's okay. You don't have to. And actually, you guys, I'm telling you, the recipes that I picked this week, I am so proud of myself. The only thing that I have to buy is mushrooms. So I am really... I know I'm not one to, like brag on myself or anything, but I'm going to prepare 6 meals with just that bag of rice and everything else I have already here at home. So that makes for a great reason to have a nice full pantry. So the first thing I need to do is cut these kielbasa's up. I ordered another tripod today because somebody says, well, you're on the wrong angle. But we'll see how it works. And I'm going to get that put in there as I'm going along so it can start to fry. I figured for the first day, most of you like kielbasa, so I thought, yeah, let's do this one. And it's really simple. So... simple and easy is always a good thing for me. You guys know that. I don't like real difficult recipes at all. Because I figure it like this, a lot of people work every day, and the last thing they want to do is come home and have to, spend 2 hours cooking a meal. And that's why I tend to try to make it easier meals. Because I have been the working mom. I've been the single working mom. And, it really, it can take a lot out of a person, honestly. All right. So now we need a whole onion. I ended up getting a few more onions the other day when I went to the Amish store. I like my frozen ones. But I do like to cook with fresh too. So I'm going to get that diced up really, really good. We don't want big, huge dices, so just little ones. And if you watched my review video, I actually used the leftover onion for that. I used that for our salad. I took that last... thing of lettuce, and I cut that up, and we're going to have a side salad with it today. Jack's not going to eat with us this week because he says he doesn't like rice. So I'm like, that's fine. His roommate, I should say, they're not friends really, but just roommates. He works at Wendy's, I think it is. And he brings home stuff all the time for Jack. So, I guess between what I've already canned for him and eating Wendy's, I guess that's what he'll be eating. I love Wendy's, but I couldn't eat it every day. It's just not my... yeah. I mean, I guess if it meant I didn't have to cook. That might be alright. And if it's free, That's even better, I guess. Why not? So they're not real fine chunks, but they'll be nice. I can't wait to try this one either, to be honest with you. Alright. I know Tom just went through and cleaned all the floors yesterday or the day before. And then he walked through with dirty feet. We have to sweep again. And then I still have some of those peppers left. So let's add some of that to them. It doesn't call for it, but I don't want them going to waste either. Alright, so let me get these cut up, and then I'll come right back. Alright, so now it says to add 3 cloves of garlic. So I'm going to take a nice, well, maybe forkful, and we're going to put that in there. We're going to stir that in with the onions and everything else. Oh, wow. Let me bring you over here. Doesn't that look good so far? Ha 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 ha. Alright, so now I need a cup and a half of, it says long grain rice, but we're going to use our jasmine rice, obviously. You guys know how I am about this adding stuff. Not having it pre-cooked already. Just is kind of weird. Alright, so we're going to use that cup and a half of rice. And we're going to put that in there. We're going to use, it says a 10 ounce, but you know, these are 16 ounces. So, but I'm going to use it, I'll just cook the rice a little bit longer of the Rotel. And then we need 2.5 cups of chicken broth. There's 2 cups. And we need a half a cup. Alright. While I was off, I was cutting up, I had the last of my green onions, and I thought I might as well just chop those up. You know we're going to use them all this week anyway. Now it says 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. You guys know we don't like real spicy, so I'm not even going to do 1/4 of it. I'm going to do maybe 1/8 teaspoon, because to me, cayenne is hot. And I'm going to use a teaspoon of paprika. Alrighty. And then we're going to get that all stirred in together. Rice, spices, everything. Oh my. Now it says to bring it to a boil. Look at that, you guys. That look delicious. So excited. So we want to bring this to a boil, and then we want to cover it and just simmer it for about 20 minutes. So I am going to let this boil and bring it down, and then I'll come back. Alright, so now we just want to bring it down to a simmer, and we want to put that lid on there. I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes. And we'll see if the rice and stuff is done by then. You know, I get nervous when we cook rice or anything like that, pasta in the dish. But I did pick 3 that we'd have to do that to. And then there'll be 3 that we'll use cooked rice for. Because, you guys, I have a big bag. And I have a feeling that I will have a couple of bags to be able to freeze up for later, too. So that 5 pounds will get us through the whole week. And again, you know, I can't stress how important it is to have a nice full pantry, because with that full pantry, I mean, you're going to see stuff that I'm making this week, and it's like, wow. I told Jack, I said, the only thing I had to order is mushrooms. He's like, well, that's good. And I think so, too. So I'm not bragging, don't take it that way, but it makes you feel accomplished when you've worked so hard to build your pantry up, whether it's store-bought, dehydrated, canned, whatever it happens to be. It feels good to know that you've worked hard enough to do that. And, you know, it didn't happen overnight, by the way. I started in 2020, so this is an ongoing process, and you just keep rotating through it. It's not something that just happens overnight, because believe me, I could not afford to put all that food downstairs in one day, you know, or 1 year. That just, no. And like, we do have a lot of white rice, but actually since we started trying jasmine, we do like that. Tom and I are not rice eaters, but the jasmine rice, we do like it. And I have enough rice probably for a year down there, so. But it's white rice, because jasmine, brown, those other rices, they don't store as long. So it's okay to have a break and have jasmine once in a while. So I'll be back in 20 minutes when this is done. Well, hi, Tom.
Hello.
You were out doing the yard, huh?
Yeah. All this rain, it's just not an easy task.
So you just missed out on cooking is what you did.
Well, I'm pretty much.
So there's a salad over there, and there it is. We put some green onions on the top. You guys, we have a lot left over. Normally we'd have his lunch, but he had that one potato left. So maybe Courtney will want some. What do you think, other than it's really spicy hot?
Mm-hmm.
Is it
hot? Not just spicy.
It's not spicy. How is it, though?
Delicious.
Enough that you keep going back after, even though it's really hot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, there's our first day of rice week, and I think it was a really good dinner. What do you think?
I think it is.
All righty. You guys have a blessed night. Be a blessing, and goodbye, Tom.
Bye. Bye, Tom.
Have a great night, guys.